Hi there, my name is Dani Henderson. Boy, we got some surprises for you today. You want to know what's happening with the cylinder craft in the skies and the drones and the space arcs? Do you know what a space arc is? Do you know anyone physically who's been to the moon, who's been to Mars, who's been to the moon of Ganymede? I do, and you're going to know it too, because they're sitting here on screen. We've got JP, our soldier, with a lot of information coming to you directly. In the lower screen, we have Elena Danaan, who is the emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds, an off-planet military faction. You don't have to wait a second longer. JP, did you not say on December the 14th on Dr. Michael Sala's YouTube channel that we were going to be seeing cylindrical craft in the sky? How did you know and where did you see them, JP?
Hi, most of all, I'm glad to be here in this beautiful channel. Dani, how you doing, Elena? It's beautiful to be here. Beautiful, beautiful frequency right now to bring the truth and love to humanity. Uh, when I first went into that building, right, and I went down the stairs and I saw these cylindrical crafts, I knew um, I wasn't supposed to be seeing what I was seeing. But, because of my past experience and past missions, I think they gave me the green light to see what I saw. And then during that same process, while I was looking at these cylindrical, beautiful crafts, that I don't think is only cylindrical, but we have other different types of craft that I'm going to say here in the show that are too going to pop out, you know, and it's going to get even bigger and bigger, and it's going to be even more exciting than
You're
never.
You're talking about spacecraft that the Earth military, the American military, have reverse engineered. Are you talking about also direct alien tech craft, that technology that's been manufactured here? And how did you even get to go downstairs at the military base? Who took you there? Who were the beings that took you there?
Well, they're humans, and it wasn't on a military base. It was close to a military base. So we have sometimes structures that are connected to the military base, that connect underground. So you got to look military base, and then just study how a tree grows. The branches and the roots on the bottom, they spread out really far, and then you have the tree that has the fruits. It's the same thing as a military base. Military base has roots that spread out throughout the cities and throughout places that have places that you can go and visit. So, and it's connected. So I got taken there. These guys that work for the governments, not just government. So when I say governments, I'm talking about the world. I'm not talking about just the U.S. I'm talking about is a collaboration type of thing that's happening. People need to understand that it's not just the United States, but yes, the United States do have one of the best you know technologies that we can ever think of, and I'm really proud of that. And I will say it with an open heart that we do. Like, I don't think other people come close to what we have. So that's something good to say. Uh, so when I saw these ships, right, they were floating off the ground, and they had like two poles holding them, but they had also two arms grabbing them. So that um, they are heavy, but you can also feel the vibration of it floating. So you can feel the power of the technology. When I say power, I'm talking about the frequency that it emits when it does um, anti-gravity um, technology. And I think what people saw in Brazil was equivalent of the same thing. It was part of the same thing, and part of disclosing of what type of technology these these things are, and just confirming the mission I had the 14th of December with Dr. Sala. Actually, the 22nd, the experience happened the 14th.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Now, just to let people know again, you're wearing a helmet, partial helmet to protect yourself because you've given so much information to humanity on the reality of the world and the world government and the militaries and the spacecraft, reverse engineered and otherwise, that we obviously need to protect your identity. Also to let people know that your beautiful accent is a combination of Spanish, English, and Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. All right, we're going to come back to some of the things that are going on, but also I want to give Miss Elena Danaan a moment here to also, Elena, today was a big day because in one of your books called We Will Never Let You Down, that was released in 2021, early 2021, I believe, you specifically included some technology you were aware of that the world hadn't yet had access to. And today something happened. Could you please share with us what happened today, all over Twitter or X, as if you want to call it that?
Hello, Dani. Yes, I have been disclosing technologies from outer space, how our friends from other worlds pilot a spaceship, how a spaceship works. It's all in my books. But well, today was released an article about an anti-gravity UFO type vehicle that is going to be implemented in 2027. It's a former Tesla engineer that came out with that, and the article explains that this vehicle uses anti-gravity torsion field spheres. Well, it doesn't say torsion field, but anti-gravity spheres put all around the craft, inside, but in the sides, and you can send impulses in some of them and move the ship in the vehicle, UFO type, circular, in any directions. Well, these technologies, I've disclosed them in 2021, not only in my book, We Will Never Let You Down, but also at the first JC conference in 2022. So, this is part of the plan of disclosure of these technologies. They are working on two levels. The first level is what we see, these new technologies coming out, and the second level is the disclosure, the visual disclosure of high advanced technologies from outer space. And that is when the whole drone and UFO cigar-shaped ships come into the picture. That's something different, but it is still part of the plan.
Beautiful. Now, you mentioned Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection, which is our annual disclosure event around the world. It's called GISIC for short. And the fact that JP on screen here, myself and you, Elena Danaan, we're all actually really good friends off camera. And our agenda is for humanity to know the truth and the reality of all the realities that have been hidden and kept from us. And we have other friends, Dr. Michael Sala, Tony Rodriguez in particular, who are also disclosing, and every year we stand on stages together around the world. We don't tell everything on BoobTube because so much of it is targeted and messed with. That's why we have these open conferences, so we don't have to censor anything, just so you guys know. And always to find us, it's galacticspiritualinformers.com. Now, JP, let's get back to you. As well as being an international soldier and your trilingual abilities, you're also very gifted in the area of DNA, frequency, energy. Now, we're going to get into space arcs, what exactly they are, where they are, what they're made of, and how did you get into one? Take your time, give us the first account if you can, and just gently lead us into it, please.
When I first had my experience, right, I was really young. I got in upstate New York. I talked with Dr. Sala with my experiences. I was in upstate New York and it was snowing, right? And I went out in my boxers, Dani, to the woods, to the forest, and I was not feeling cold. I was following this type of orb, this type of light, and everything froze, like the trees, everything. I couldn't hear the birds. I couldn't hear the water. There was a creek. There was a river, and the water stopped. Like I couldn't hear nothing. Everything was like shut off, and I ended up in my house again. So something similar happened to me in Brazil, you know, and and it happened the same way. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had no shoes. I went out to the farm like around 3 a.m. around that, and I saw this beautiful spacecraft, and this spacecraft was glowing. So when I went close to it and I touched it, I all the hairs of my body started going up, and I felt a metallic taste in my mouth. And I was like, wow, what is this? I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes, and I ended up back in the farmhouse, and you could see my footprints coming back. And after that, I came back to the States, and I started getting visited by different people from different governments, picking me up, taking me to the base, interrogating me, asking me, hey, what the heck you just went through in Brazil? You need to not talk about it. And then in the other side, I got the white hats telling me, hey, um, it's good. You could talk about this, and we're gonna approach you in a certain time, and you're gonna put your camera, you're gonna use your phone, and you're gonna take pictures of this. And then while you take pictures of this, we need you to send them to Dr. Sala. So they knew I was talking to Dr. Sala about my first experiences. I think they were tracking me when I first came back from the States. Uh, they they've been like following me since I came back from that experience in Brazil. When I say they, I say maybe the corporations or what the governments. Uh, After that, I started taking pictures, and I got proof of these pictures of cylindrical crafts, TR3Bs, and I got pictures of them glowing up and creating their own gravitational pull and just taking off. I got a video that I sent to Dr. Sala. Uh, Hopefully, he still has it, and I think he probably does. But if he doesn't, I think I still have it. I grabbed a Nordic met up with me, two Nordics, right? And they met up with me, and I grabbed a piece of their fabric, right? Because I didn't want to let them go. Um, they they ripped it off, and I had the piece of the fabric, right? And then in my phone, I was recording this, and this recording was on a phone that you can't manipulate video or nothing like that. It's old. It's it's old. So I touched the fabric of the Nordic, and the fabric started deteriorating, and turning into like glitter liquid right in my camera. You can clearly see um turning into like liquid and then disappearing in thin air. So we're dealing with also, I think, interdimensional uh subjects. Interdimensional ETs are connected with, I think, different times. I think people need to know that. I know people don't believe like in like what is temporal wars or something like that, but it does exist. And that happened to me, and I recorded it. So I've been having a lot of experiences getting picked up in an egg shape type of craft, taking me to different types of domes. The first time I visited an ark, right, I was a civilian. I wasn't in the military. I got taken to the middle of the Atlantic, and I was lined up, and I saw everybody, standing like soldiers and all that. I was the only one like, hey, yeah. So a big, high guy from the military, he came up to me and says, you shouldn't be here. Who the heck brought this guy here? And I'm like, oh, crap. I think I wasn't supposed to be here, because I never saw something like that in my life. A floating platform that looks like a donut and that has a type of elevator in the middle that has a tube that goes down that is created by a metal that I never seen before that is flexible that goes with the current of the ocean, and it has an electrical thing that connects to it that makes the pressure not seem so as much as if it was you going on a regular submarine and feeling the pressure. So whatever this tube technology is, I think it's the same technology that the UFOs or crafts use in order to travel in space or underwater. So I got there and he's like, "Who the heck is this?" So they put me back. They put me back on the craft and they bring me back. So um, I never got to go to the Ark, but I went to the platform, I think, in the beginning. And then when I joined the um, some problem happened in Tampa that I wasn't feeling safe. So I moved my family from Tampa to Orlando. And because I was getting picked up too much, and it was changing the way I was viewing the earth, viewing the world, viewing the population. So when you go through these experiences, you start seeing things in a different way. You start seeing things like if you were a scientist, analyzing everything that is happening around you, because you start noticing that everything happened already. That everything is a reflection of, I think, the past or something like that. So you just start thinking scientifically about everything when you go through the experience like this. So I moved to Orlando, and but like there's a lot of stories in between. I started developing different types of technologies, and my house got ransacked, and they took out the technology. That's one of the things that happened in Tampa. That's what made me, not scared, but made me move and take my family to Orlando. And in Orlando, I started getting pictures again. People telling me, "Hey, look up. There's going to be a craft." Or Nordics connecting with me and landing and inviting me to their ship to witness more technology or witness. But I was just hesitant because of everything that was happening with me. I was really hesitant to go into these ships or interact with these beings. And but I took my camera or my phone and took pictures and I sent them to. And then the guy that gives me the green light, I know him for years, and he's like, "Yeah, you can show those pictures. Yeah, you can show those pictures.
Can I ask you?
Half of these pictures." Yeah.
Sorry, your beautiful storytelling, experience sharing. I love it. Thank you so much. But there's a couple of things I want to just pick up on there. So before you saw the first arc, the donut-shaped arc in the ocean,
Well,
you
not donut shaped arc. This is a platform, right?
okay,
That is run by the military.
got
Okay,
it,
this platform is run by different militaries around the world, and then this platform has an elevator that goes down to the arc.
got it.
The arc is a different beast. The arc is something that I think humanity never experienced. Well, I think past civilization has experienced the arcs and the technology that's in there. So what I was talking to Dr. Sala, right, and I was saying that these arcs have been visited by past generations, right, or past civilizations, and each civilization leave a portion of their technology in these arcs, right? So throughout time, people that or civilizations that have reached a certain point, they have visited the arc and left their library, left their whole civilization imprinted in the arc, and that's what actually we're doing now. Because after we leave our information or imprint in the arc consciousness, uh, something happens. Um, something happens. We don't know what happens, but something does happen when after the ark receives the information that it needs about our civilization. Or that's why now the Nordic ETs are involved and other ETs from out there, because they know, I think, that something happens once the ark receives the information it needs. So we have to see the ark as a being, as a consciousness sometimes, with the technology that it has. So
So there's so much to go into the arc because Elena Danaan has also experienced the arc. So I want to go back when you said that you were with two Nordics, two ETs, two Nordics. I want you to describe what they look like, but also why were you grabbing? How come you ended up with material? Were you tussling? Like, what was the reason that you even had the material in your hand, please?
I did not want them to leave me.
Oh,
I
darn.
felt I felt a peace. I felt something beautiful. When you look into their eyes, you feel something that you never feel before, Dani. You feel even if when they touch you, you feel whole vibration. Like you you become like one of them. Like you feel what they feel. It's insane. So when they were leaving, I grabbed them and they just kept going and ripped and they just disappeared. Like I didn't know where they went. I'm like, hello, I still got your clothes. Like, where you guys at? Uh, and then I started recording
Cloaking
the
technology, eh?
I was recording the fabric and it started disappearing, and I recorded it disappearing in my hands. And I think when people see that video, people are going to be like, "What the heck is that? What is happening?" And I think I have that video. I'm just waiting for the right time, maybe to release it, or when I get the green light to release it.
Oh,
Uh,
now you're talking.
but
Do it. I mean, it's going to be so amazing. The Nordics that picked you up, let's just give people a roundup. If someone's never seen you guys before in their lives, you, JP, have been talking with Dr. Michael Sala since 2008, sharing with him information, one-to-one experiences with ETs. Later on, around 2019, you were then invited to join the army, and you've been going with their permission to the moon, to Mars, to the moon of Ganymede, which is the t-shirt that you're wearing. Should we take a little step back before we bring Elena in and give a bit more insight into some of the excursions of what Ganymede is? Why would you go there? What planet is it next to? And why do the American military and other militaries, human militaries, have assets up there?
are you talking about the axis of the arcs?
Ganymede, American military, why are they even up there?
Well, we've been up there, Donnie. Before I was born, people have been visiting different uh, planets or different moons in our solar system. You know, time is a human construct. Uh, people talk about 20 years and back. When you get into space, there's different pockets in space that time changes sometimes, and I think people they're gonna be really overwhelmed when they understand that, that different gravitational pools on different moons when it goes around different planets creates pockets of time that you could probably enter, and the ships they enter it and it can convert you into whatever time that area is in. So probably, well, that's something that it's gonna come out. So I can't wait when this information comes out. Um, but in this moment, there's hundreds of thousands of people and ETs working in space and in our oceans and in other oceans in our solar systems. So, when you taken into these projects, when you're taken into these missions, um, you are like locked in because you have to do everything they tell you to do. You do. Either way, you do experience something that people never experienced before. But when you going through these missions, you're locked in. You don't talk to nobody. You just do the mission. You just do whatever you need to do and come back home. That's your main goal, coming back home. So, and when you go to these missions, in the back of your head, I need to come back home. I need to come back home. I got a family. I got beautiful people I need to see again. So you really need to do everything they tell you to do. If you do not do everything they tell you to do, it's a shit show. So I think they choose people that have been through different experiences, or has a certain DNA through these projects or missions, to experience what I experienced when I went to Ganymede. We went in an armada, a lot of ships. So there's more people than me. There's more. It's not just me that went. You know, a lot of soldiers went to Ganymede, and I think they're still visiting. And these ships have the capability to travel in the blink of an eye. You know, a couple minutes. They're and I'm sure they use the technology of twisting time and twisting what is the twisting the fractional interdimensional quantum way of traveling that they can contract and and make it closer. And it's just a technology that I think soon in 2025 is gonna people are gonna start talking about this shit, and it's gonna be amazing. Uh,
That's
and when they and I think I let go of video saying that yeah, there is armadas out there, and people do pass in these missions. You know, get that straight. We have to get that out there. You know, people do pass. People do. People have accidents and they don't make it back home, and they're just blurred out. You know, hey, your your husband or your wife died in action, and there's females too. You know, there's girls too. You know, in these types of missions. Uh and it's tough. It's tough when they don't make it back home
I
and they come
remember.
back and
I remember years ago, Alex Collier, you know, our Andromedan contactee for over 30 years, he reported on two military personnel, senior personnel that were floating in the vacuum of space. And it had been promised that when they died in action off planet, that their bodies would be returned, they would have full honors, and that never happened. And again, this is some of the faults of the and the upset and the, you know, misrepresentation of certain militaries across our planet, which is
well when we go to these missions, the military, uh, we're just a it's not that we it's hard to explain because there's other branches that branch out um from the military, right? So when we do through these missions, we're like branched out to these other. We're like okay, we got this MO, right? We're gonna send this MO to France, right? And okay, we send this MO to France, right? And then French grab the MO. It's like, okay, we're gonna grab this MO and we're gonna give it to somebody else, you know? And they gave it to somebody else. And people have to understand that in the military, we are assets, okay? Um, they pass you on, do the mission, they bring you back, you're back in the military. So I don't want people to undermine what is the militaries, you know, or make them understand that it's just the military doing this, you know, the military. But I want people to understand that we are assets, right? They give it to these people, people. They give people to other people to do certain missions. They bring back these people, and we're back on Earth. So, but because you're part of the military, you still carry your baron. You know, yes sir, no sir. You know, I do whatever you tell me to do, and let's do it. You know, because it's my job. You know, if you have somebody higher than you telling you what to do, you have to do it because it's your job.
right.
So
Let me give you a little break there, darling. Let's bring Elena in a bit here for her
okay.
share also on the space arcs. And I'm going to come back to you because I want you to give us again the story of the blue water. I'd never heard of it, and most people had never heard until you mentioned the blue water, the stuff inside the ark. Okuria Mate, the ancient chant that was on the wall. So we're going to come back to that. But right now, Elena Danaan, please enlighten us with your physical visit or visits to space arcs. Where are they? What are they? What is your clear memory of them, please? And when did you visit them physically?
Well, it is good to remind first what these space arcs are in truth. So there are different origins to them. They are big spaceships. And it's different from the halls of records, who are facilities carved either near arcs or either under pyramids. That's two different things. But the arcs can also play a role as archiving records of a civilization, some of them. There are different origins from different ET off-world groups. I believe that the arc JP visited under the Atlantic Ocean is an arc that was from the group of the Cedars, the Intergalactic Confederation, and I believe JP has DNA connections with this group of ETs, and they are mainly managed by Nordic-looking people, the Altians, who are tall, blonde or white hair, and they have been looking after their arcs and halls of records, but especially the arcs. So there are arcs from other cultures, such as Pleiades, such as different Vega or Sirius B cultures, Alpha Centauri cultures, different groups of ETs that have visited Earth in the past. There are arcs not only on Earth, but also on different places in that star system. Notably, I know about the Moon, Neptune, the Kuiper Belt, Ganymede. I think there are mainly a bit of everywhere, Mars. I think JP would have also interesting information about this later. So here what they are big spaceships that carried colonies of off-world people, and they landed on Earth, and from their big spaceship that we now call arcs, they developed a colony, a civilization, and the arc was powering all the facilities, the devices they need to survive and build a colony. That's one use of the arcs, and then everything was built around it and sometimes above it, so you don't see it anymore. And as time passes, the layers of soil build up, and the more it's ancient, the more it's buried. And they are very ancient, very, very, very ancient. So that's why you find them most of the time buried either under the sea or ground. Anyways, the second use of arcs, the Intergalactic Confederation and also the Galactic Federation of Worlds, when a planet, endangered planet, or either a planet that joins one of these organizations as a culture, they are offered arcs. If the planetary culture is a new member of these organizations, they are openly offered these ships. And if they are not yet member, these ships are put in orbit of this planet or on other planets of this star system. Why? These arcs, this second use of them, is to be there as a safeguard in the eventuality that the planet can be attacked, can be a victim of disaster, and the population and all life forms need to be evacuated. So that's when these vessels are here at disposal of the inhabitants of the planet to be evacuated. So that's a second purpose of them. Well, they communicate between them, and that was this information was first brought by JP. They communicate by a system of portals, as JP, you explained to us, but I will let you give all the details because you physically experienced it. These portals are, it's like Stargate. So they are made with this superfluid, which is not water, it's a superfluid. It's a charged fluid that has every little particles. Instead of producing energy, they swallow energy. It's called vorticial structure. And like every particle, every atom is a vortex that sucks in, like mini black holes. When you activate this superfluid with an electric charge, like the frequency of human DNA coming near it, and you program a destination, or if this superfluid sphere is already interlocked with another gate in another place or ship, you go in and you are directly teleported. It's quantum leap, quantum entanglement, as simple as that. But I say no more. JP, you may talk about it because you have beautiful stories about that. And to end up by my experience of physically going in these arcs in this lifetime, the first time was because I'm very connected to the Atlantic arc from a previous life, and we have a memory with JP that's been mentioned in Dr. Michael Sala's book, anyways, where we just save a crystal core from these arcs. So I was teleported physically. I can't teleport personally by myself. I need technology. And so I was teleported by Thorhan Eredion, my contact in the Galactic Federation of Worlds, on board a scout ship that took me and another whistleblower to Antarctica on a ship. And this episode is mentioned in my book, The Cedar, the Lake Vostok episode. We were teleported physically to then Antarctica from the ship by technology under the Lake Vostok in this facility that was buried under the ice. We had special suits, smart suits that adapt our biofield to the external conditions, regulates body pressure and temperature, etc., and heartbeat and everything. We arrived in this arc and we saw ETs in stasis. They were tall, blue skin, and these are also members of the Intergalactic Confederation, the Cedars, the Patal, actually. And so it was a nice experience to witness. And there was this sphere in the middle of it. That was just there. We didn't use it because it wasn't the purpose. The purpose was just to be shown this place and attest it exists. And we were teleported back. My second experience with an arc was in Japan, actually last year in 2024, when I was in May 2024 near Mount Fuji, at the feet of Mount Fuji. I was in a car and the car drove past a military base. And I went, oh, military base in the mountains, maybe there's something, Well, yes, there was, because we passed the base and I heard a pulse, vroom, 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 like this, going through me. And I recognized straight away the pulse of an arc, because these arcs are inhabited by consciousness. They are alive. They are not powered by any type of usual core power that we find in other ships of the Federation, for instance, torsion field, crystals. The crystals in these arcs are inhabited by a consciousness. They are the support of the consciousness. You remove the crystal, you remove the consciousness of the ship, the soul of the ship. It's a plasmic supra-consciousness. These are ET beings that are not incarnated, that are in the shape of a plasma field, and that are able to incarnate in the most elevated state of matter, which is quartz. Anyways, that's a lot to say about it. So I felt this, and I have to say, why was it pulsing? All these arcs who are buried and who belonged to the Intergalactic Confederation, the group of the Cedars, have been all activated at the same time in October 2021, when the fleet of 500 motherships from the Cedars group arrived in our star system via the Stargate that is interlocked in the gravitational field of the planet Jupiter. And their frequency activated all the arcs in the star system and on Earth that belong to them. It's a frequency entanglement. So all these arcs were already activated since October 2021, so I could feel the one under Mount Fuji, and that was very interesting. And actually, we went to a music studio near the Mount Fuji with a big glass window, and we were listening to some music and with my friends, and I heard Thorhan connecting in my head and by my implant, and he said, "Look up by the window." And we looked up, and we were at the feet of the Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji was just there. And a UFO came out of it, very bright, and we filmed it. And it went around it, back, around it, inside and out again, and we filmed it. And that was to tell me, Thorhan explained to me, just after we enjoyed sighting, that there's a base of the Galactic Federation of Worlds in the Mount Fuji. And they're looking after this arc. They are really keeping it. So that was very interesting. And they're working with the local military also. So these were my two experiences with arcs, Dani.
That's so beautiful. Before we come back to JP and get his story, Akuria Mate, etc., the blue bubble, I'm so excited. But still, again, always respecting that new people are watching our channel, my channel, your channel, JP, your channel, Elena, because we've all been reporting on this incredible disclosure information for years at this stage. And so people that are just coming to the party are really late. But I do want to give them the opportunity to go boom, 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 which is our duty, I feel. Now, Elena, you cannot skip on and leave out the experience you had with JP and the craft and the crystal. Can you please give us information on that?
You mean the past life experience?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is something we've been reminded at the same time. Actually, this memory recall occurred when JP visited a military base and he was scanned. He was scanned for his memory of past lives and his connection with us, our group, They found a connection with myself and with Michael Sala. And none of us were happy with that, but that's how it is. They try to know. I didn't know JP was visiting this place and was scanned. JP always tells Michael Sala first, and then they release a video together. So there's always a few days, a week or two sometimes between the moment where he experiences this and when the information goes out. But at the moment he experienced this, Michael and I had memory recall dreams, and I had a memory recall vivid dream of being with JP in Atlantis. Well, that's what I recall, but I'm going to only talk about the common memory, the thing we both had. I'm standing in a field on a foreign planet with high grass. I know This planet is Emeria from the Altean star system where I belong. Anyways, I'm standing in this field and comes to me an egg-shaped craft that has a room for only one pilot. And the craft comes and lands in that field. And there's a big, huge moon in the sky. That's interesting. That's important. And a person comes out, and I know he's one of my friends. I was waiting for him. I had been waiting for a long time that he brings back to me a crystal. And this crystal, I understand, contains the core consciousness of an ark that he has saved. And he comes and gives it to me. And I put this thing safe. That's what we remember commonly. But then I have other memories around it. My other memories is that we saved this crystal. It was a core crystal of the Atlantic Ark that needed to be removed from the Ark as Atlantis was being destroyed, for this technology not to fall in the wrong hands. I couldn't escape, and JP had this craft at his disposal that was interacting with his DNA. Only him could be in it. And I told him, take this and bring it to the Altean home world. And I'll wait for you there. So I died. My consciousness came back to the avatar I had there. And I was waiting for him. And he came back. And this crystal was put in safety. Later on in history, the crystal was brought back. And because JP is very interconnected with this crystal, because he has a history with it, I believe he was able again to see it, and that's a story JP is telling, testifying. So I will let JP talk about it.
Go ahead, JP.
And JP, you have the same memories. Okay, maybe you can share on your side, please.
This same craft, right, was picking me up in Tampa. This guy named Lovint, he's like Indian looking, and he used to pick me up, show me places. We used to do different missions in different places, and I assume it's one of the same craft that I was in, and I remember going through this experience and them getting this past memory, because your consciousness is connected to your DNA, and your DNA is the library of past lives in this world and other worlds. I think people should study more what is the spiritual connection of a soul, and that that we are eternal. When we die, we're like a particle of light that goes somewhere else and interact with what the universe wants us to do. And I remember going into this world, and I remember seeing the high grass and the grass or whatever it was, whatever kind of plant it was, it moved in the same way, and it was so beautiful. You could look out miles. You could look out miles, and the grass was moving in the same way, like if they were all connected underground. And you felt like a beautiful, even the sensation of being in that planet was beautiful. And then in the distance, right, we see buildings, right? And these buildings have like water. And it looked really, really futuristic, like Dubai times 100. and these buildings were like whitish color, and they were beautiful, and they were on top of the water. And then I look up and I see this huge ass moon that looks similar to ours, Elena. It's so amazing, and I think people have been saying that this moon is not part of what is Earth, you know. So this moon that was large, right? It has a gravitational pull, right? And when the moon is closer to a planet, it creates bigger waves, and I could see a big wave covering this city, right? And then coming back. So I think these buildings are made with a element that the water doesn't bother it. The water is like a wind instead of liquid, you know, when it comes back and forth. It's a technology that it surpasses the mentality of anything that you ever think of. This planet was so advanced in technology, and knowing also how how the soul works, and how consciousness works, and how space travel without a ship works. So I think, Elena, it was even better for you to, I'm not saying to die, but you knew that if you stayed behind and passed, that you were gonna make it. Your consciousness was gonna make it faster than the ship takes to go to a planet. So once it's like a quantum leap. When you pass from this world, you quantum leap somewhere else, you know, to help out whatever other civilizations that need your help. So it's just, if you pass, you pass. You finish your mission here on this earth. You jump into another dimension or another planet to help out that civilization, and that's what I think happened. Uh, it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And then when I landed with this egg-shaped ship, and I saw a person, I did not see the face of the person, but I knew it was a beautiful white dress. It had it had beautiful, beautiful jewelry, and the jewelry was like connected to the body, and I knew I couldn't see the face of the person because it was a high ranking person. So I gave what is like a type of like a crystal. It looked like the crystal from the Ark of the Atlantic, but it was more full. It was more like new. You know, it wasn't as old or chipped as the one that is in the Ark in the Atlantic. It was more full. It was more full. And yeah, I that's all I remember now about that experience. But it was an experience that, and then when I connected with Elena, and I felt that same feeling that I felt with my recall. I'm like, man, could she, like, is it possible that 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 she was the person that that I interacted in my past life? And it shocked me when I told Dr. Sala, because information was coming out from different ways, from different channels, that wow, Elena went through this too. And then other people in G6 started connecting with Elena. Like you, Dani, you also was connecting with her with your past experiences. And I'm like, wow, how maybe the Ark is calling back the old DNA, and the crew is getting back together, you know. And I don't know about you, Elena, but I've been being emailed by different people saying that, oh, I think we're part of the crew, because you know you have the main crew, And then you got the people that work throughout the arcs, you know, the people that have different um departments in the arc that their DNA works for that department, but consciousness uh spread out like spread out that information. I say information because consciousness is it's the form of information through different people from around the world. And I'm getting emails left to right. I think we're part of this arc over here in Brazil. I think I'm part of the arc over here by the Pacific arc. Oh, I think I'm part of the arc of the Atlantic arc. But we do have to be uh we have to be vigilant with this information, and people are trying to match information to confuse others, you know, and we just have to be careful with that. But yes, there is people that are going to go through these past experiences and remember that they were part of something big, part of these arcs. And when I heard about Elena experience, I was like, wow, that's that's amazing. I think we're connected, and it was a beautiful feeling when you feel a person that went through your same experience, right? And you hear them talk about when they're in space and the experience that they go through, and you're like, wow, yeah, I went through the same thing. Wow, that's amazing. We're going through the same thing. So yeah, it's I think we're all connected in a way. We're all connected,
Absolutely.
and it's
Elena,
amazing.
what did you want to say, lovely?
Oh, when JP mentions that he's happy to meet people who have the same experience, uh, I have been used to tell people that I physically travel to space, I have physical contact, but it's a frustration to me to tell them I really go there, you know, because of course people don't believe me, and it's okay, it's okay. Um, and one day I listened to the first interview of JP by Dr. Salah on Dr. Salah's YouTube channel. And JP was talking about his trip to Ganymede. And he described, and I went, oh, wow, I went to Ganymede last year and with Torhan, and we went actually to a bar, and I saw Earth military people at the bar with the uniform. It was incredible. So he confirms it. It's fantastic. And then he describes passing by Jupiter, and
Mm,
I cried because you can't describe this if you haven't experienced it, because
yeah.
nobody knows. You need to go there, to fly near Jupiter, to know. And what is to know? It's the feeling, the electromagnetic power of Jupiter that is so huge that it goes through you, through your soul. Even if you are on in a ship protected by a torsion field, a shield, it goes through it. It's not something mechanical. It's something that is about the consciousness.
Mhm.
Every planet that has a magnetic field has a consciousness, because consciousness always entangles to magnetic fields, especially if you have a core, etc., like a planet or a being, a human being, etc. But Jupiter has such a presence. It's like an emperor, you know, or something
Yeah.
masculine, and it just blows through you, and you are so emotional when it happens to you. It's indescribable. And JP mentioned it, and I was crying because I thought, finally, someone who's known this and who tells the same thing, someone who experienced this as well. Oh, that's a blessing. So I wanted to mention that.
I'm witness to that because you called me sobbing, bawling. You couldn't even get your breath. You couldn't believe that here is someone that you're reconnecting to after such a long time, and all these memories are shared memories, and you're then able to prove to each other without even speaking first, oh my God, I went there, I know what he's talking about. And your reaction
Yeah.
on the phone. I think I was living in Costa Rica at the time. I was like 21, 22, 2022, around that time. And you were just like gone. But it was such a beautiful blessing that we could, validate, well, JP's the real deal and you're the real deal. And there's so many of us that have had amazing experiences, and we've come together to share them and to hold each other strong and support each other and love each other and witness each other as we share the interactions. Go ahead, Lena.
JP, you want to comment on that, on Jupiter, the feeling?
Yeah, sure. When we first saw Jupiter and we saw that, we felt the beautiful pulsing sensation, and we felt what is the energy that you feel once you pass a certain distance. Once you see, and it's like you talk to these astronauts, right? When they go to space and they see Earth, right, and they're like, "Oh my God, Earth! Oh my God, it's beautiful." Imagine seeing a planet that Earth fits in one of its storms like 4 times. It's a massive planet. So the energy that this planet emits, it's overwhelming. It takes your whole body, and it regulates your heart to it. It regulates the beat of your heart with and the feeling of looking at it. And then when you go to the dark side, you see all these beautiful, beautiful auroras, like light show on these different storms. And it's a beautiful, colorful um experience. It's like watching the New Year's in the dark side of Jupiter. You see all these storms and all these electrical colors coming out, and you see this, and that 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 information you receive in your eyes changes you. Like you feel like, wow, I'm part of this. We are part of this. What's happening? And it's similar to the same feeling I felt also with Saturn. Um, Saturn is a beautiful, massive planet. So when you start getting close to the rings, you also feel that vibration. You also feel that power. I'm sure you went through the same thing when you went through Saturn, Elena.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
these and the ship that you're traveling in is like an organic type of ship. So the ship feels the same thing that you feel. And you're connected to the ship, but also the ship is connected to Jupiter. And you have also other people that are feeling the same thing. And you look at their face and their like jaw is dropped. And we look, I remember looking at one of the soldiers, and we locked eyes, and we just went open our mouth, and I asked him, "Do you feel what I feel?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, this is a feeling that I never felt before." But you never feel it because I think um, this is an only feeling you feel around Jupiter that you can explain. Um, I'm sure when the information comes out that people are working in our solar system, on different parts of our solar system, even even getting close to Mars, you feel a different feeling. You feel a feeling of emptiness, but joy as well. When you get close to Mars, each planet has their own feeling. I believe has their own type of style of consciousness, but like feeling that you feel. Uh, it's something that you can't express, and even the moons of Jupiter has a different feeling when you approach it too. These moons, once you pass the security sector of these moons and you enter into these moon, like for example, Ganymede. If you want this shirt, Elena made it for me, and I love this beautiful shirt. You can get it in her shop, and it's the moon Ganymede. And when she gave me this, it meant really so much to me because I remember visiting this 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 beautiful land, you know, and I'm sure I still have friends and we still have people working up there, you know, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shirt that I like to wear sometimes. And I sometimes I wear it, right? And people's like, "Oh, what is that? Is that a new planet?" It's like, "No, man, that's a moon of Jupiter." And then a conversation sparks every time I wear this. It is amazing. I wear it in Times Square, Elena, and I had like a line of people out of nowhere, uh, just asking me, "What is this place? Is this a new planet?" I was like, "No, this is a moon of Jupiter. Look into it." So, you know, I don't tell them I'm JP, but hey, this is a a moon that is literally slightly, I think, is it bigger than our moon?
It's bigger than Mercury, planet Mercury.
Yeah, yeah. It's considered a planet.
Yeah.
It's bigger than Mercury, and it has oceans inside of it. And we have bases in different parts of it. There's a place that is called the Horseshoe. Um, it's called the Horseshoe area, where it's really, really, really not holy, but it's like a respected place to be in. And we have other places that go to the interior of Ganymede, and it's a big ocean. It's made of liquid liquid type of water that is there. It's like a more pure water, and there's organisms there. There's there's these whales. Well, yeah, in different parts moons, right? There's there is life. I want people to understand that.
It's incredible. I mean, we could go on for hours and, we will continue. But for the moment, let's jump, if we may, to the space arc, where you first went with all the different military from around the world. Please take it from there. How did you get there? Who were you with? And what happened?
I got taken there when I was serving in the military, and we went into the elevator, right? We landed, we went into the elevator, and there was different people from different nations. Um, there was people from China, there's people from Russia, um, there's other people there as well from Mexico, indigenous. How you say it?
Indigenous.
Indigenous. There we go. People from Mexico and more south of Mexico, and we entered this beautiful arc. And the first experience was in this lifetime. Um, you get flashbacks of wow. You start entering the arc and you see the arc how it is, and it's old, but you close your eyes and you see it new. You open it up, you see it old. You close your eyes, you see it how you saw it in your past life. You open your eyes, you're like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember this activates this. I remember looking at different types of languages of different civilizations, and we started seeing big sarcophagus. I always have a problem with that word, sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus. Sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus. There we go. So I we got into this beautiful arc, and different section of the arc, right, has different time. It's like it's like you enter to a different time and you slow down. You look at your hand and it's you can see the you can see the echo of your reflection. And we saw these beautiful people dancing and activating the arc, and they were singing Akuria Mate, Akuria Mate, Akuria Mate. They started activating. I think I sent you an audio. Maybe you can play it later. For the people, I sent you a better version of the music Akuria Mate. and how they sang it. They started singing it in voices and all that. And I remember that they went into the ark, right? And the Chinese tried to go behind them, but they were stuck like in time. They couldn't go further in. But the these Indians they just went in and they stayed behind. And then the the visit that we had next into the ark, it was like a type of rescue mission to get them and all that. But the ark, you visit different rooms of the ark, and all these arks are connected with each other, and all these scientists are communicating with each other because each arc is like a cut and paste of the same one. So I'm sure these arcs, when they start coming out, they're going to connect to each other and make a massive type of arc, if they do come out. And they have these.
JP, let
Yeah.
me go back a bit with you because, again, I know you've told this experience several times, but again, for brand new people, you entered the Ark with other military personnel from around the world. And then these beautiful Mexican soldiers recognized this ancient mantra, Akuria Mate, which we'll put a link underneath this video for people to listen to. And then
Mhm.
so you're inside the actual Ark and you're seeing all these different ancient hieroglyphs and beautiful things in there. Then they started singing a Kuriya Mate, the ancient mantra that they recognized written on the wall. And what did they enter into? What did they go into? And who were the Indians that you're talking about, please?
These Indians were the type of soldiers that went down with us, and they were dressed like Indians, and they knew that they were entering somewhere that they've been before. They have connection with the inner earth. They have connection with these types of technologies, using vibration, using techniques that they use, using words. I can't say they're spells, but some words activate certain things around the world when you say it the right way. And I know a lot of people don't believe in what is language and what is vibration, but certain words, when you say them a certain way, it could come to happen, and then we come into the expect part of what is the spiritual realm and why these words carry weight when you say them, you know, and these beautiful Indian people that activated the ark, they go into a different realm. It takes you to a different realm, similar to the room that you go into that has the liquid ball that takes you to another ship, but in a different location. They went into this other room that took them to a different realm, or maybe a different time. Uh, it could be like a time, a type of time
Mhm.
um,
But
machine,
you're
or
all in this room and you're with all these other soldiers and they're singing the mantra. But what is in front of you? Like, how did they get to where they went? What happened? What are you looking at exactly?
it looked like you could see it like walking. You could see them walking, and this is distortion. What you see is distortion, but they keep walking and they keep like disappearing in the distortion. So it's like a room, but it's like a distorted room with like stairs, and they walk into it and they just keep walking into it, and they just like disappear, and they go into like a different type of realm that I think uh we have tried, and other people have tried to go into this different realm. But it's similar to when I visited the ant kingdom, um going to a different realm, different place. Your whole body starts vibrating, you feel connected to the place, and you feel like you're part of something big. So I'm sure they knew, and they came there with the knowledge that they were going to activate something, that we probably told, um, the government of Mexico, hey, we found this ark and it has your writings on it. So we need your people to help us out to activate certain parts of this ark. And first, the government, I think, of Mexico was hesitant to helping the United States. But when we told them about the different arcs that we found, they jumped on top of it and they helped us out in activating certain parts of the arc. All that. But yeah, all you see was a distortion. You see a distortion, and then you see them disappearing. But the Chinese, they try to do the same thing, and it did not work out for them as much.
So where was this particular arc? Where is
I
it?
know, I know there's more details. Right now I can't grab all the details,
Yeah.
but I know there's more details. And right there you can see it in exopolitics when I explain with more details these
Yeah.
experiences.
Okay. Could you talk about another time when you saw the blue liquid and explain what that looks like to us and what it is and where it was, if that's okay? If not, we can move on to a different subject.
Yeah, it was in a certain part of the arc, right? And we entered this like place in the arc that was really, really beautiful. It was like fluorescent. It looked like Avatar, and everything was like glowing in a way. And we entered into this beautiful room, and we saw this ball, right? This ball was floating from the earth, and then the liquid, like Elena said, it's not like a water substance. It's like an oil. It's like coconut oil type of substance, but it's like liquidy. So it's I think it's a type of technology, a liquid technology that they have, and we entered into this beautiful room, and I don't know why I can't think of it right now. That's weird.
That's okay. That's okay. There's a lot going on and there's a lot of overload. And I'm asking you to pull from many different experiences that you've had on planet, off planet. You've gone into lots of different memories. You've gone into inner earth. You've gone into the deep ocean. What I will ask you both, can you tell us, please, where are the arcs that you are aware of and that are based on reality and not imagination? Are you on mute, my love?
Where are the arcs?
Yes, where are the
Oh,
arcs?
what I was saying, we cannot disclose all the locations for security purposes.
Okay. All right. One in the Atlantic off
We
Daytona.
got one in Atlantic. We got one in Ukraine.
Yeah.
We got one in the Pacific. We got another one that they're finding out somewhere in Taiwan. I don't know if anybody knew about that one, but I just said it today in your show. So I hope I don't get in trouble. Uh,
We have
of
Vostok.
course, yeah, Antarctica. We got a massive one that Alex Collier talked about in, I think, Greenland.
Greenland.
We got another one, I think, smaller types of ships scattered in the area of Afghanistan and India
Mm.
that people probably call Vimanas or whatever they want to call them. Because, um, separated from these arcs, people need to understand that there's smaller vehicles also buried in different parts of the world that we know of. And they're kind of big too, but they're like smaller. Like you know how the military has massive ships um where jets land, but you also have the little other ships that protect that bigger ship. So these other ships that are scattered, that are a little bit smaller, that are found all over the world and all over our solar system, I think they are the protectors of these arcs. And then we got the orbs that are connected to the arcs and other different types of ships that do recon on different places and different time. So we got India, we got of course Russia. They have a couple of these ships, and I'm sure they have information on some types of arcs. We got also inner Earth people that have collected archaeological parts of certain arcs, and they have it hidden in their realm just for protection, you know. And we also have the connection with the Nordics and other ET beings that are also connected with these arcs.
What about
Yeah.
Egypt, there under the plateau? People talk about one being there. Is that true for the people watching?
Well, we'll leave that for the archaeological professional, Elena Danaan.
But there's a whole of records under the Giza Plateau. There is a huge spaceship that is buried from a more ancient civilization under the plateau as well, which you can access via the holes of record under the Sphinx. But that's really buried very, very deep. Yes.
Question on Ukraine. Do we think or know that the war, one of the focuses of the invasion, was to get to that particular arc?
I know I have said it in my past information, something like that, but I just can't talk about it now.
Understand.
Uh,
Elena can. She's under no military jurisdiction and no NDAs and no secret acts. So that's great that you can confirm that, Elena. All right, darling, that lets you off the hook there. That's brilliant, guys. Thank you so much. There's other conversations. People are coming out with information on space arcs. I understand a need in some to want to be part of the delivering, but we really do need to tell the truth. And I really do have full respect and confidence in the two of you and your very many years of informing and the people that you're connected to, which is so beautiful. JP, I'm going to ask you to step back to the egg-shaped dome that the Nordics would pick you up. So you'd be driving along in your car, you get a little bling bling from the sky, you'd be indicated to stop somewhere in the middle of nowhere, in Florida, let's say. You'd get out, you'd go for a walk, and you see an egg-shaped craft. Is that true, sir? And how many times has that happened roughly that you can tell us?
it happened before. Once I came back from Brazil, I started getting picked up by these egg-shaped craft. If these egg-shaped craft fly up and turn around, guess what? They look like the Tic Tac. So, these crafts are really advanced. They have a ball that is connected to the door that you pick up and you keep it with you. I think it gives you energy or something like that. But this guy Lovent, he picked me up, and I think he lives in the moon. They live these people. We have civilizations that live like in certain parts of the moon that keep the moon upbeat, keep the moon working the way it's supposed to be working. So I think these are the types of Vimanas or whatever that people used to talk about back in the days. But these beautiful ships, I think they can travel through also time, or the technology is so advanced, and the experience I had with these ships, similar to the same experience I had with the TR-3Bs when they pick you up and they take you to different locations, or the types of flying saucer ships that the Nordics and other governments around the world use to travel. They're round, and it's the same ones I saw when the Nordics were training the pilots from different nations in this big port that I saw. north from Florida. And I think a lot more people are going to start seeing these ships too, Donnie, these egg-shaped ships, and they're going to be asked to get picked up and show them around, you know. Uh, it's going to be.
Sorry, my love. Did we mention that the cylindrical craft that was seen over Brazil came from Antarctica? Did we already mention that aspect? I forget now. We've been talking about so many different stuff.
No, we didn't mention, but I'm sure it probably came from the south part of, because I think once they showed me the ship, they just wanted to say prior that, hey, these ships are ours and don't mess with us. We have these ships, and the white hats, we have them, and nobody's gonna mess with us. You might have your technology, you might have your type of technology, black hats, but we also have a technology that it's superior and it's advanced and it's connected with ETs. So I think that's the type of message that in this last update they were trying to get out, that don't mess with us. We're locked and loaded. We're ready to bring the truth and to bring the love and to not back down and help humanity get where we need to get, because we need to get to a place in our timeline that shows that we're ready for Star Nations. We're ready for the Federation to come and be part of something huge, something big. And well, for us to be part of something huge and something big. And I'm sure that GSIC is doing this all over the place. And people are talking about these conferences. I know a lot of people are trying to downgrade what's happening. But when you have 1,000 people looking at these beautiful ships at once, and then all of a sudden we have people trying to black out this information and this beautiful experience that everybody had. See, I wasn't there, but my wife, she was there. And when she came back and she told me, she was crying. She was like, wow, I thought I would never in my life see this. And I saw it. And a lot of people, after that, in Colorado, that happened in GSIC, a lot of people started seeing these. I think that was the beginning, Dani and Elena. I think that was the beginning of the
Yeah.
beautiful show of what's about to come. And I think people need to know that was the beginning of why all this in New Jersey and all this is happening in the East Coast is happening. We got other governments involved, yeah, that are trying to dirty the swamp and make the swamp look really ugly. But we also got the good guys, preparing all this. And I'm sure Elena had this information prior, and she was speaking it out like this is gonna happen. And the same thing happened in France, just to let you know. And I'm sure this is gonna happen in this next basic conference that we're gonna have.
Before we come to Elena, just a quick recap as to what you're talking about. We had our last disclosure conference, guys, which is called Galactic Spiritual Informers, GSIC for short. And you can see under my name here, Dani Henderson, GSIC. Just put that in, it'll come up. This is the greatest disclosure vehicle happening on the Earth. September 27th of 2024, Elena Danaan in the screen here with her off-world contacts, Galactic Federation of Worlds, and they, with their on-planet military contacts, created a flyover our hotel in a tiny airspace, a no-flow zone, a no airfly zone. NORAD ran the corner, Denver bloody airport down the road. We created a phenomena that 1,000 eyewitnesses, humans, witnessed it. The world media tried to shut it down. People came out of the sewers trying to shut it down. They failed, of course. And these two people in the screen are largely responsible for that happening. And JP will be in charge of organizing the next fleet that come over our next conference in May the 10th, 2025, Eastbourne, Sussex. It was amazing. And thank you, JP, for validating that since our conference on September 27th, 2024, from that date, we then started to see the rollout of the drones, the military drones, the fake ones, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, all trying to confuse everybody. But we kicked off another part of disclosure because of who we all be. And that is true testament. Elena, what would you like to say on that, seeing as you were the one who organized it that time?
Well, what to say more that you asked me if I could get my contact in the Federation to do a flyover. So I asked and they say yes. And Thorhan even said there'll be a little surprise. And the little surprise was not only the fleets of scout ships flying high-speed information, but also TR-3B from the nearby base underground spaceport of Cheyenne Mountain. So that really proved also the collaboration between the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Earth Alliance military. And with this TR-3B hovering above 1,000 witnesses. And as I warned you, Dani, I said there will be a counterattack from the counterintelligence that will not like this, and this happened, but we're good.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the start, and I can attest from my sources that was a gift to you, Dani, but also the start of, they chose it to do like this, the start of the sightings of all these orbs and ships that we are starting to see, and that gave it the kickstart, and it's going to upgrade to different ships. After the Cigar shapes, you will see the flying saucers and more, and you will see the disclosure of what are these crafts from our extraterrestrial neighbors. And of course, the counterintelligence operations, it's been happening every time there's been disclosure or contactees. They are going to flood the information with fakes. For instance, in these cases, you have a flooding of deep state military drones, like simple military drones, and they will want to prove that you haven't seen any ET drones. It was all ours. So ETs don't exist. Or they will use it to say it was Russia, it was Iran, it was China.
Oh, yeah. So where they got the technology,
Yeah, I know, right? So it's been laughable because you can't stop this. They can't stop it. It has started and it's going to get better and better.
That's right.
Fasten your seatbelts.
And Inge.
And we brought this information first. I want people to understand that. A lot of people are now coming out. Oh yeah, this is gonna come out. This is gonna come out. But we've been saying it for years.
Yes, you and I. Yes.
Not that we're trying to be smug about it, because we're here in service to humanity, and we really do intend for the truth to come, to keep on coming, and to keep marching ahead and not get blocked and not get stopped. It's too late, mate. It's already out there. Too many witnesses, and I bless each soul that was there with us at the last GISIC Galactic Spiritual Informers. I bless you all. You were part of history. And God bless you for that. And I know you guys feel good. We're going to get a t-shirt made. It's going to say, I was there, GISIC 2024. I was there. It'll be beyond I was there at Woodstock. We'll live to see this history that we made in real time come out around the world. So congratulations, everyone. And we invite you. We've nearly sold out the tickets for England. I cannot believe it. I couldn't believe it. How quickly they've sold in the UK. Well, I think there's like 100 left, something like that, maybe less at this point. But we're going to have another flyover, Eastbourne Beach, May 10th, guys. And then we're also bringing GISIC back to America, September 19, 20, and 21. September 19, 20, and 21, where these two are also going to be back there speaking and gifting and liaising with you, Dr. Michael Sala, Nikki Allen, the Great British Medium, me, Tony Rodriguez, he'll be in England too with us, The great Kathy O'Brien will be there, the whistleblower of the Pentagon and the White House from before the Reagan administration, and showing up all the monsters that she's had to deal with over the years. And also we're flying in Praveen Mohan from India, who is prolific globally. Millions of people listen to him because he's exposing all of the hidden iconography in the hieroglyphs and the pictographs of the ancient Hindu temples and other temples.
Wow.
Yeah, he'll also be with us in the UK as well. So he's coming to both GISICs this year. I'm so excited, guys. There's 1,000 different ways we could go. One thing to take care of, Elena, recently, there's different talk coming out, different things people are saying, this is this and this is this. You stand very strong with the being known as Enki, who is a former or Anunnaki Sumerian ancient figure of history. And you are in physical contact with this immortal being. And I know that sounds like an episode of Star Trek, but really it's, too bad, so sad. These things actually are in existence. But there are people saying here and there that he is Lucifer. I've heard it like 3 or 4 times now out of different mouths, and mouths that people listen to. Please, can you precise, is Enki, Prince Ea, Lucifer or not?
Well, these people are either misinformed or either acting for an agenda. Lucifer was Marduk. Marduk was Enki's son that was coerced into the dark side by Enlil. Lucifer was the most beautiful of all angels, as we say, and he betrayed his father and went to the dark side and was cast on earth. That means he degraded himself into lower densities of consciousness, which is the reptilian density of consciousness of Enlil. I'm not talking about physical densities, I'm talking about consciousness, frequency. That's the fall of Lucifer. And the betrayed father was Ea, or Enki. So Lucifer is Marduk. Ea has nothing to do with it, except the fact that he was the father. So you need the people to inform yourself, read the ancient text from all different cultures, and then you will know the truth.
That's so beautiful. There's 1,000 ways we could go. I'm happy for people to copy everything off my channel that you two bring, as long as they do it justice and the respect it deserves and don't own it as their own. The information is for humanity, guys. It's not about being a pop star, a legend, or being in your own ego. It's about all of us here. If we're in service, then let's be in service, my darlings. Now, JP, I want to come to you for a final subject, unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up, but I want to talk a little bit about the sleeping giants. Do you have any more awareness of them awakening, any more information coming to you? I always feel so emotional talking about the giants. Yeah, JP, quick, talk, because I'm going to cry.
They are awake and they're ready to prepare the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful part of what is love technology to humanity. And they are awaking and they are ready to share what is the truth of what is happening around the world. When I saw the sleeping giant, and I saw the beard of this beautiful being, how it wrapped around, I knew that he was still alive. And when the ant people told me that he went to another realm, I understood there that he had awoken. And the location where I saw the sleeping giant, where I saw this beautiful tree, and I saw this beautiful, where the giant was sleeping, it's still there. It's somewhere around Ponce de Leon. I can't give the exact location, but if you study what is Ponce de Leon, the tree of life and all that, and you tie the you tie everything together, you will understand more about why Florida is so important to the United States, this beautiful peninsula. But I'm sure there's other giants out there, and it's just nobody can stop this. Elena, Dani, nobody can stop this. Um, this is going to come out, and this information is going to shock a lot of people when they know about these beautiful beings, you know, and what they are preparing.
Thank you. I don't know why that makes me particularly emotional. I think all of it does. And I heard some stories about some of the giants, some of the beautiful people that we're here to bring. Sorry, I have to stop for a second. One.
Well, I can bring some information about what JP was saying about the sleeping giant in Florida. It was discovered that it was Ningishzida, one of the Anunnaki scientists, otherwise named as Jehuti or thought, known in the Americas as Quetzalcoatl. And we know all these informations because, I was with Michael's Dr. Sala in America on a road trip, and Thorhan connected, and Michael asked him, and Thorhan said, Ningishza, who is Ningishza? And we found out, yes, on internet, we looked up on internet, Ningishzida, but that was his way of pronouncing the guardian of the tree of life. And we just fell on our chair like, what?
Oh, wow.
Holy what? You know? And Quetzalcoatl was the name as well. I don't remember. I think maybe you said it, JP, that it was Quetzalcoatl. And I wanted to mention something about Ningishzida, who was known as the Egyptian Jehuti, that was transformed into the Greek variant Thoth. He wasn't, there are rumors of misinformed people who said he was the son of Enki. He wasn't the son of Enki. He was older than Enki. He came with Enki with the expedition, and he was older, and he was his mentor in alchemy and sciences. And so I can confirm that. So that was an information.
And this is the Egyptian that people call Thoth, Thoth, mostly known as the white man. The Y is the scribe,
he's not Enki. He's not Enki, as I said. So because people are making the confusion. Sorry.
Also, Thoth isn't the bloodline of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Ea or Enki is has fathered the Adamic bloodline from which Jesus or Yeshua descends, but not Ningishzida, no, not Thoth, no. It's a different person.
Beautiful. Okay, well, we have covered so much ground, so many different subjects that are so important, so many different realities and experiences that are so important. We'll bring this particular broadcast to a close, but JP, please start and give us your final words, anything else you need for us to be paying attention to, listening to, knowing, and then we'll come to Elena.
Akuria Mate. I love you guys. Thank you for this beautiful, beautiful experience. And I know that we're all connected, and we're here to bring this beautiful information to those that don't know. You know, the more people that know about this information, the better it is. Just a couple of days ago, I got 1,500,000 people viewing my Instagram. So I'm sharing this information the most of I can, the information that I can share, the experience that I had, and I'm sure that people are coming out now. talking about these experiences and talking about the ships that they're seeing. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get so much better. We're going to live a Star Trek future. People need to understand that. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Dani, for this beautiful experience. And I'm sure this is not the last time that we're going to do this. We're going to do a couple of these to people to understand more about our experiences and to understand that everything that we go through is for a purpose and for a reason. Okay? And Akuria Mate. Akuria Mate.
Beautiful, JP. We love you so much. We're so grateful for everything that you do. And bless your heart, taking so many risks for us. We love you. Elena Danaan.
Planet Earth, as a planetary civilization, has stepped into the dawn of a new golden age. The Kali Yuga is over. We are now sailing towards an amazing future where humanity is free, where free technology is available for everyone, where diseases have disappeared, and where people find a new, better quality of life, where humanity soars to the stars and prospers. We will actually, truly, as human beings, live longer and prosper. It is not only about technology, it is also about humanity, about consciousness, about the human spirit, a condition that is 50% is equal as the technological evolution. Humanity is in the midst of understanding that they need to change the old patterns of the ancient paradigms in their mind, these ancient patterns that were installed as a programming by the former deep state created by Enlil. Now, all these Enlil and the regressives have gone. Now the human minions are collapsing. Humanity is free and needs to know it. The door of the cage is open. The birds is allowed to fly. What is about the evolution of consciousness that will get humanity to make it in this maturation of the civilization? It's unity. It's compassion. Compassion is the higher form of love that is the binding blocks of the universe, of creation. It is very important not to play the division games of the deep state. It's an old pattern that is very, very difficult to remove because it appeals to our own traumas and angers. And the only way to heal humanity is to heal ourselves by finding peace within. Make the bond with your neighbor, with the other humans, by wishing them to find happiness. If you do that, if everyone on this planet would wish, even to their enemies, to find true happiness, that they do not hurt anymore, and they do not want to externalize conflict, inner conflicts anymore with other people, taking other people's as, as a ground. Well, if everyone was wishing happiness to everyone, not only we would create this high frequency of compassion, but we would elevate the frequency of the global consciousness of humanity very fast, because it is together that we build our future.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. JP, again, thank you for all the risks that you've taken and that you take and all this long, these many years of bringing us information with your beautiful soul, heart, and DNA and brilliance. We love you so much. We love you so much. And we respect and understand that you have to keep yourself somewhat, disguised for your safety. Elena Danaan, again, thank you so much for everything you've brought to this planet and everything that you do. And it is such an emotional time And you're wearing the insignia of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. If you could show us so people can see what that actually is. Actually, hold on one second. I'm going to make you, if you could tell us quickly about that. You're on screen now.
It represents the galaxy, the Nataru galaxy. That's the arm of the galaxy, and the different sectors and the central sector in the middle. So that's what it is. Nataru galaxy. It's a symbol that is different from the Earth, from the Galactic Alliance. Galactic Alliance, it's a circle with 2 rings, and that's a federation, Galactic Federation. That's the Galactic Alliance includes the Federation and other organizations as well. It's a bigger structure. That's what it is.
Thank you very much indeed. And to you guys, thank you. I really honor and respect your journeys too. I know it's bumpy, it's been bumpy, and everything is collapsing around us for the best. We 3 stand in proof of that. We bring our love to you, our respect to you. We look forward to seeing you at AGISIC, Galactic Spiritual Informers, and I'm just so grateful for my friends here on the screen, for the rest of our team, Tony Rodrigues, Alex Collier, Dr. Michael Sala in particular, and I am Dani Henderson, and I send you my love from my heart to yours, and we'll see you